Welcome back to Meticulous Mechanic. So it'd be nice if you could just play the videos backwards, because a lot of times in the manual they'll just say, reverse the process. So I'm just going to quickly go through this a little bit. These bolt heads are a little bit corroded, so I'm just going to polish those up a little like I did on that cam chain cover video. That this bolt is longer than the rest, the one in the upper right. The other three are all the same, 1, 2, 3. Those are all the same. I'll just polish these up a little bit. So I had purchased a new gasket, but I'm just going to use this old one because it looks good. And also these here, I'm going to inspect in here to make sure the O-ring still looks good. The O-rings look good. I'm just going to put a little bit of motor oil right on this surface here. So that's where it interfaces with the O-ring. Yeah, I'll do all 4 of them like that. I had kept this area covered with a rag to keep the dirt out, but I did re-inspect this surface and I don't see any dirt. I'm going to be careful not to bump these electrical connectors back here. I'm going to be looking up under here to make sure the gasket doesn't fall off funny on those spark plug holes and the air induction system holes and stuff. It looks like the trick is going to be to look in that crack and line these 3 up and then make sure all the way around it's not falling off. But those will be good starting points there. So I inspected in the back with this mirror and a light to make sure the gasket didn't fall off. It's really hard to see in there, but with the mirror I can tell. So I just went all the way around and then made sure the gasket was seating in there properly. I'm going to be torquing the bolts down to 10 Newton meters. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just snuggle these down, finger tight. I got my little ratchet out first before the torque wrench because I had to spin them down a bunch, but it's interesting, they just kind of stop. There must be a hard stop on there. It makes sense that this would go down to a hard stop so you don't smush the gasket too much because it's like a silicone material versus paper. They probably just wanted to squeeze just the right amount. So now I'll do the 10 Newton meters. Next will be the ignition coils. I've already made sure this is clean under here. There's an arrow on the cylinder head so you know which way to point this. So cylinder number 3, just going to push it straight down in and make sure that's lined up on the arrow. Just going to push straight down with my thumb. Looks like I'm going to have to turn and twist like the way I had to get them off. You had to kind of twist and pull at the same time. So I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way of the camera. Let me just do it off camera, but I'm going to try to push down and turn. Okay, I can tell I have it all the way in because there's no gap here. This is a rubber piece and it's sealing properly right in here. Let's do the other 2 the same way. I think I'll put a glove on because it's kind of denting my finger when I push down, or my thumb. Number 1 doesn't have an arrow, but I remember I had zip tied the wire back here that's going to go to that spark plug, cylinder number 1. And I know that it's coming on back like this. It's going to slide on like this. So I'm going to put the electrical facing towards us. So this electrical connector here is going to face this way. Cylinder number 1. See if we can get this one to push on. You can hear it clicking. It clicked all the way down. Now I'm going to slide this wire on here. And I know it doesn't go to this side because it won't fit. It goes around to this other side. And it'll slide on like this. So I zip tied this together. Here's the air cutoff valve assembly wire. And then underneath is spark plug number 3. I'm just going to spin that one forward like this and install it. I have spark plug number 2 zip tied back here. And it should just come forward like this. The next is the cylinder head breather hose, and I had labeled one side to air box. So I know that this is going to go there. So I'll just slide it on and squeeze this clamp and move it up like this and then let go. I'll just slide this on here and then squeeze the clamp and slide it over like that. That looks good. So next is the air cutoff valve assembly. So those will mount here and here. So I'll get the back one on first. Squeeze this first and get it slide on there. Go. Rotate this down a little maybe. Actually about there looks good. Last time I was using my vice grips, but the trick is to squeeze this all the way first. I like the vice grips because they don't slip off, but try this. That looks good. All right, we got that all back together. One last thing is this air cutoff valve assembly wire. I'm glad I labeled it because I didn't have to think. I just know it goes here. Pushing straight in, making sure it clicks. That's good. All right, now we're done with this job for today.